Dave made this beat.
Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 141. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy in the building. What's going on, everybody?
What's good? Yes, welcome back to all the slackers out there. Another beautiful Tuesday, another wild week of sports, and we appreciate y'all being here to share it with us. So before we get into it, and as we let people join in, Strizzy, I just want to ask you how you're doing, and I want to ask you about something I saw earlier today. But first, what's good with you?
Bro, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna ask me, so I'll touch on that. After the fact. But I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right. Oh man. But yeah, other than that, I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. Everything is lovely, and I do want to welcome in a couple people. Anthony Wesson already in the comments. Yo, Pops. Good evening.
What's up, Pops?
Moms as well. So thank you all for being here, and as always, we appreciate the comments, we appreciate the engagement as we go through our topics. You know what I'm saying? Hit our topics for the week, and we'll probably hit about an hour today, maybe a little bit less, because some of them are slower, but some of them are heavier. So that's what's up. Anthony Weston checking in with a little update. He says he's going to his first Rangers game tomorrow versus the Royals. That's what's up. The Rangers' new stadium is one I have not been to yet, so I need to circle back. Actually, I went to their old ballpark, but I need to go there. But yeah, the Royals there right now, so that's what's up. Definitely enjoy the game and let us know. You know what I'm saying? We'd love to hear a frontline report of what that stadium is like for sure.
Definitely. Grace checking in too. What's going on, Grace?
We also got Grace in the building and Unc coming in too. So what's good, Unc? We appreciate all y'all, and I think it's time though, Strizzy. I think it's time.
Definitely.
During final say, we'll talk more about the hot stuff, but let's go ahead and let me pull up the graphics real quick so we can get it right, and let's go ahead and jump into our first topic.
Sure.
What's up next?
Let's check it out, man, real quick.
Tune to NFL Talk. Let's get it. All right, so NFL Talk. The first topic of today. Now, again, we're deep in the offseason. The draft is over. So the main things for coming up is the schedule release actually coming out this Thursday. I'm very excited. I feel like this is always a day. I mark my calendar for this because we can go through and see, exactly when all the teams are playing, when those matchups happen, and some of those games that may loom large for the season. So, Strizzy, what do you think about schedule release day? You're up for it?
Yeah, I'm always up for schedule release day. I like to see who we're playing, when we're playing them, if we're playing them at home or away. I also like kind of sometimes going through. I haven't done it yet, but I like going through and kind of guessing what I think our record might be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, should beat them, ain't gonna beat them type stuff. So yeah, man, schedule release day is always cool. Something to definitely look forward to as we get closer to the season.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. I do the same, you know what I'm saying? I always love to go through and circle kind of, okay, well, I think this might be a win-loss based on what we know today, of course, and some of that might be wishful thinking, but I also do like the teams lately have been starting to do like videos and stuff for the schedule release, like everybody's little media department trying to outdo each other. Last year we had Post Malone, being like the postman to deliver Jerry Jones the schedule, so it's pretty funny though, but it's kind of interesting because you kind of see the team's personalities, like, or lack thereof, when they kind of come out with these videos for sure.
For real.
But we'll be watching that, and next week maybe we should do some little predictions. Maybe we can have everybody send in some predictions on their team's schedules, win-loss.
No, that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Like, look at the schedule, see how you think your team's gonna do.
Exactly. Yeah. Before we keep rolling, I do want to welcome in Kelly. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for being here with us. And then Anthony Wesson mentions, the first Thursday night Chargers at Chiefs, and they have released some of them, right? They released the first Thursday night. They talked about what the international games are going to be, the Germany game and the Mexico game. So that stuff should be cool. But Thursday for sure we'll get to see that whole thing. So
Yeah.
Other things on here, Sony Michel signed with the Miami Dolphins, which is kind of interesting. He was kind of a forgotten guy, but at this point has 2 Super Bowl rings now, and
I know, right?
he joins a backfield in Miami, which has kind of got a lot of like random pieces. So
really does. No
we'll
for sure starter there. Well, I don't know. They should have a for sure starter, but they haven't had one.
Right.
You know what I mean? So hopefully they'll lock that down, but we'll see. I think Gaskin can get it.
I think it could be Gaskin or even Mostert. He came over from the 49ers
and
kind
right.
of followed the coach.
So, right. He might get it, but he can get injured.
Yeah, we'll see. But also, other news on here, James Bradbury was released by the Giants, a really solid corner. He started his career with the Panthers. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on like him right now and what his status is.
Yeah, man, like I was saying before, man, he's a very reliable cornerback. You know, I mean, he's not one of those guys that's like super locked down, but he definitely does his job. He knows what he's doing, and I'm curious on what route they're going or where he might end up. I know with us, we were kind of resetting, so that's why we let him go. We didn't resign him to a bigger contract when we let him go, but I think he'll be fine anywhere. You know, I mean, any team would be lucky to pick him up to have a good, reliable corner on either side of the field. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I think he'll get scooped up pretty quick, but it sucks for him because free agency is kind of over, and a lot of teams have already spent up their cap money. So maybe he just gets a 1-year prove-it deal. But yeah, definitely a starter right away wherever he goes, pretty much.
Yeah.
The last thing on here, Tom Brady has officially made an agreement to become the lead analyst for Fox Sports when he retires. Now, of course, we don't know when that will be. It almost was this last spring, maybe after next year, but it's kind of interesting. Apparently, they threw a boatload of money at him after losing Troy Aikman. But to me, who knows if he's even going to be any good in the booth? Like, I assume probably, but what did you think about that, though, already getting the job?
I kind of like it. You know what I mean? I feel like they got to, it's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like you said, you just lost Troy Aikman. Like, who better to kind of replace him than, the best quarterback of all time? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
they're going to throw some money at him for him to do it, to make the decision before even actually retiring. You know what I mean? But Tom's actually really funny, man. I don't know if you catch Tom Brady's tweets, but dude's kind of he's kind of a jerk, but funny at the same time. Kind of like Peyton Manning, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not like Aaron Rodgers jerkish, but still has a solid sense of humor. So we'll see how he does.
Yeah. And I think he should do well. And even if he's not the best at it right away or not natural at it, I'm sure he'll learn that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the name alone is going to attract a lot of people. So appreciate the comments for, the comment section on that one. Definitely paying these guys a lot of money to do the commentating lately. Keeps getting bigger and bigger. So let's see. A couple other things I did want to say. Unk is over here talking about Dallas Mayer is in favor of a second team in Dallas. Pop says Jerry wouldn't let it happen. Yeah, for sure. That is funny though, but everybody knows the Dallas Cowboys is such a big thing. Like they pretty much absorb anything the Texans can get too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just even being like the kind of football team for Texas. So I don't think
you'd have to coordinate all of your home games when Dallas is away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because there'd be no everybody would be at the Dallas game, the Cowboys games. I don't know. There's no way that could work unless they did it that way. There's no.
And way. Yeah, you're right. Just bringing up that as just a logistical standpoint, there's not too many markets that can support it. You talk about really, it's only LA and New York, and really even there, it's split apart. So even if they were having a game in the same day, there's so much room. They're nowhere near each other. So
exactly.
Yeah. So Pop says in terms of Tom Brady, Tom is smart and funny, but not sure he'll be great at it. Yeah. So
right.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm I don't know. We'll see. It might take an adjustment. So
no, for sure. I agree with that.
And Ant coming in with the statistics though, Dallas-Fort Worth is predicted to become a larger metro area than Chicago soon. That's crazy. A lot of people moving to Texas though. Yeah. For sure. A lot of people moving to Arizona too. Too much.
I know. I was about to say that. It's crazy.
All right, that's what's up. So, okay, so that's really the NFL news, a little bit light, but the next thing we're going to do is really kind of a fun activity that we put together. we talked about a couple weeks ago. I think it was on episode 139 that we did mock drafts, and we kind of took a look at them, and even a couple of our slackers participated. So we took it upon ourselves to take those mock drafts and grade it up against the actual results. So here we go. This slide is a little bit busy. It's a little bit hard to see, but I think I am going to put us in this little smaller mode so we can get a little bit closer to that. But I wanted to talk real quick about the scoring methodology that we decided. And we were trying to figure out a fair way to really grade these drafts and to kind of also create scoring, right? So that there would be like some kind of competition, because we figured if we only did based on like getting the actual pick right, it would be, extremely hard. So what you see here is the results in our little Excel spreadsheet. And again, you got to just forgive the graphics or whatever, but this is the best we're doing on our budget right now. All the highlighted green picks are where the actual player or the actual person got the exact pick right, the name, the player, and everything. So that was worth 100 points. And then, as you can see on our scoring methodology, if you got the correct position, it was 50 points. If it was picked within one spot, so either right before that player was right before or right after the pick that you predicted, you got 35 points. Within 2 was 20, and within 4 was 10. So that's how we decided to do the scoring. And I actually went through and kind of assigned a score for each prediction. So here we have the results, and we'll talk about it in just a second. But I did want to kind of hear your thoughts, Strizzy, on how you thought the draft went and just any surprises and how you graded out.
Yeah, I did horrible in the draft grade wise, but I think the draft actually went really well. I think a lot of surprises, a lot of trades. I mean, a ton of trades that really changed a lot of things around.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting the two defensive backs to go back to back, but actually really happy on kind of like where they went. I think both teams are in desperate need of both, and which really worked out for my squad because we landed the best tackle in the draft. So I thought that was huge. But I think the draft was really crazy. You know, I mean, I wasn't expecting that many trades.
Yeah.
I also expected Aiden Hutchinson to go first. I know they were talking about Trevon Walker going first after that, but I'm really curious to see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Trevon was drafted based on potential, what he can be, instead of what Hutchinson is right now.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna just be compared with each other forever, like forever. Like Hutchinson has to be the guy he is right now, and I feel like Walker's gonna pan out too to be what they hope he can be. Otherwise, it's always gonna be that like, oh, they should have taken Hutchinson. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I kind of love it though, because I feel like that's gonna give Walker the edge to kind of like, all right, cool. I got to work hard. I got to go out there and do exactly what these dudes are expecting me to do and expecting me to be. So we'll see. We'll see.
No, I agree. I think that's a great, and I think in the first couple of years, he might be like because he is more pro ready. Aiden Hutchinson might be better or whatever, but that is the long term measuring stick. They're always going to be graded against each other, and who knows? Sometimes the GM jobs kind of sway in the balance because of those things. If you think back to like Mitch Trubisky, he didn't do terrible, but they always just every time you would hear, well, he was picked before Patrick Mahomes, and he was picked before Deshaun Watson. So that that always sticks in people's minds. So
yeah, it's just gonna always be brought up. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. It's hard to tell. You know what I mean? These guys who were great in college don't always pan out in the pros, and some of the guys who were not so great in college,
progressing or whatever.
Yeah. So you just never know, man. He could come in there and have it right away and just automatically be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm rooting for both of them, but we'll see how it goes.
For sure. I do want to thank our slackers, Pops and Anthony Wesson, for participating. That was really dope. Anthony Wesson, he said he nailed a few, and he did get the most correct players right, with 6 actual picks right. And he said he knew that the Ravens would get Hamilton. So I definitely got to tip my hat to Anthony Wesson. And also because he had trades in his draft. He was like the most advanced, like wheeling and dealing, and still got a lot right. Pops came through also with his mock draft and said he got the first 3 right, hoping that was enough. And I do want to go ahead and reveal the scores, but it was so close. And somehow I edged out Anthony with a lot of the lower scores turning out. But I think that I do want to grant Anthony Wesson as the official GM of the SLAC community, especially because he included those trades and got the most picks right. So
Yeah, it's
Anthony
crazy.
West did a great job with that for sure.
For real. Anthony said, "This is what I do."
Yeah, exactly. He was like, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? He definitely put in the research. But in general, I just think this was a lot of fun. And I hope we can kind of build on it next year. And if more slackers want to, kind of give their mock drafts, we can kind of make this a bigger thing and kind of, just have something fun to play with it. So,
no, most definitely, man. This was a lot of fun. As we continue to grow, we definitely got to get some more slackers involved with it. But it was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad now that we know the actual, scoring methodology and everything like that, we can kind of build from there and we can be ready. And who knows, like Anthony said in the comments here, maybe even do an NBA mock draft. So
true.
I know I'll get washed in that because I just don't really know NBA as well. But
I feel you.
But at least we do have kind of a methodology, you know what I'm saying, that we can kind of go from. So that was a lot of fun. So I do want to say again, last time, appreciate all of that. Appreciate the participation and you guys kind of checking out our mock draft. So good stuff there. Anything else for NFL though? I was looking and like I said, it wasn't too much, but
no, not that I can think of. I know Deshaun Watson's court stuff is still going on, like things like every Friday or something like that. So you got the 22 civil cases still going on, but haven't heard much from it since then.
That's true, yeah, and that's a good thing to bring up because that's one of the things we're tracking in the offseason. There's still a couple of players that kind of want to be traded, Deebo Samuel, things like that we're still kind of tracking that, but the NFL is going to be pretty quiet until camps until camps open up. So
very true.
This is officially kind of the lull, so we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the night. All right, NBA talk. So we know this is the playoff semifinals, and it's getting a little bit down to the nitty gritty. So I wanted to take a closer look at where the series are right now, starting in the West here, and starting with a series that has a game tonight. A little surprising, the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks are tied at 2-2. And Strizzy, just give me your thoughts on the series and how do you think things will progress moving forward?
I know we'll talk about the Miami and Philly game as well later on, but I feel like Game 5 is so important. You know what I mean? Phoenix started off so hot. I mean, they started off so hot. I was like, this series is over. You know what I mean? Like they literally let Luka score 45 a game and then just held the rest of the team at bay, and Mavs just couldn't do it. But Jason Kidd and the Mavs have really turned things around in Dallas. So 0-0 now. You know what I'm saying? Best of 3 essentially. So
right.
I would say that the Phoenix Suns definitely should be worried. You know what I mean? Like I think right now they're relying very heavily on Chris Paul. If Chris Paul doesn't play well, they lose, and they lose pretty handedly. You know what I mean? And I feel like right now Luka has figured them out, and he's way too good, to take for granted. You know what I mean? So and Dallas has all the momentum. So if they come into Phoenix tonight and they get Game 5, I think the series is actually over. Just because I feel like Phoenix has been found out, and with the way they struggled against the Pelicans and how they kind of struggled these last 2 games with Dallas, there's no way they're going to beat Golden State. Like there's no way. I don't believe it.
Wow, yeah. But I agree with you as far as the surprising turnaround. Those first 2 games, Phoenix Suns looked like they knew what they were doing. Like you said, they looked like they were like, we're going to let Luka do what he needs to do and just stop everybody else, and that's enough. But it is interesting. They always say like, that you never know and that you're supposed to win your home games, right? So
exactly.
We'll see tonight if Phoenix can do that. But I do think they'll be in a little bit of trouble, or it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too risky right now. You know what I'm saying, for it only being the second round. So
exactly, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. We'll talk about it next. But the problem with Phoenix is the wear on Paul. I expected better. Like he's not really injured right now. He's not really hurting. You know what I'm saying? So like he had a really bad Game 3, and I was hoping for a bounce back Game 4, and we just didn't see it. I think he fouled out in Game 4, which is not necessarily like him. And Luka, he's playing with them. He's playing with everybody. Nobody can guard him. He's posting everybody up. He's stronger than everybody. He's bigger than everybody. You know what I mean? So right now he's literally playing with the Phoenix Suns. So he continues. I think the games 3 and 4, the 26-13-9, 26-11-7. He continues those numbers, man. Phoenix are in trouble.
Yeah, because it looks like he's got that full balance. Yeah, I agree. Of kind of making everything happen. So, and that is why I kind of threw up those just to kind of see like what Luke has been doing so far in the series. And it's funny that as his scoring regressed and as his other things kind of kind of came up and like kind of leveled that out more, that the Mavericks are more successful. So we'll see. But tonight is a big game, and I think that'll be a big big decision as far as who wins this series. So
yeah, I think it's huge.
let's switch up to Golden State and Memphis. Now, this looks like this series is over. And, Ja Morant was injured. He missed game 4. And now earlier today, it was made official that he will not return or he's questionable for return for the entire playoffs with a bone bruise in his knee.
Mm-hmm.
And happened on that play. It's kind of interesting. They're saying, that the Warriors have said earlier they broke the code with what happened to Gary Payton Jr. And then now, kind of Morant said, hey, kind of grabbed on me. But I don't think it was a dirty play. But what did you think about the play and kind of the injury?
Yeah, I don't really think it was a dirty play. Honestly, it sucks, man. These type of things happen. You know what I mean? Like it kind of is what it is. And as far as like the whole breaking the code stuff, like I don't know. Freak accidents happen, dude. You know what I mean? Like I really don't think that was intentional. But whatever they're gonna use for motivation to beat this team, I guess they're gonna use for motivation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But I do think that this is pretty much this series is pretty much over. I do give the Warriors I'm sorry, not the Warriors, the Grizzlies, credit for kind of hanging in because all of these games have been relatively close, except for I think the first one. Games 2 through 4 have been pretty close.
No, they could have won game 1 if Morant didn't miss that layup. You know what I'm saying? They only won by 1 point. You know what I mean? So Morant, Clay hit that. Wait, was that game 2?
Yeah, I think that was game 2.
Right, my bad. Yeah, game 1. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, game 2. He comes back, he makes that layup. It's 1-1 going back to Golden State, and maybe they still another one, but yeah, they're not going to come back, especially without Ja and take 3 in a row from Golden State. It's just not happening.
Yeah. And I'm kind of leaning towards this way. Pops is saying Warriors in the West. It will be interesting to see if the Warriors get through this series tomorrow and have to wait out, kind of this slugfest that's happening with the Suns and the Mavericks. They might be well poised to kind of take advantage of that. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening in the West. But I do want to move over to the East, and let's talk about your squad, the Heat and the Sixers. Pops gave us an update earlier. The Heat are up 78-59. So it looks like they're cruising in game 5, which is currently underway. How are you feeling about the squad? How are you feeling about Philly kind of coming back in this series?
Good. Good actually. I don't know. I like Joel Embiid, man. Like I like how he's grown. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's doing well, but I do feel sorry for him. Like, dude's hurting everywhere. You know what I mean? Like even though I was watching the game earlier, he was holding his back after trying to save a ball, which I don't think he should have tried to save. But he's got the bone fracture in the face. He needs surgery on that finger, and now his back's starting to hurt. I don't feel sorry enough for him to want them to beat my squad, but games 3 and 4, man, were tough. Like we shot so horribly in both games. Game 3 was one of the ugliest games I've probably ever watched ever in the history of basketball. That game was so bad, dude. We couldn't we couldn't buy a bucket. We couldn't get a bucket on credit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so bad. And then game 4, Jimmy did his best to keep us in it, man. He balled out, but nobody else was really, really working for him. And tonight we're hitting shots. You know what I'm saying? Like when we're hitting shots and our defense is playing the way it's playing, we are a really, really hard team to beat. We're extremely deep. It's just we got to hit shots. We don't hit shots. We dig ourselves in holes, and it's crazy. But I'm glad we have the lead that we have. But we can't let up. I don't want them making a run, trying to come back in the fourth quarter. Let's win this game by 20. You know what I mean? Like I think we're up close to 20. Like let's just win it by 20. And it's got to come down to who can win away. You know what I mean? We have to win. If we win game 5, we got to win game 6. Let's not get to game 7.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think it'd be best interest to just kind of, try to finish out with these next 2 games. It looks like they got this one in hand at home. So going back to Philly, probably up 3-2. I do like that Joel Embiid came back in this series and it kind of made it, a little bit more of a competition. But I think it just furthers the point that James Harden is just what's up? You know what I'm saying? He just has nothing in the playoffs. Like, he's just not that guy.
It really took him to score 30 because like the game was really close, and I think if it stayed close and he doesn't go off, Miami probably wins game. You know, with the way Jimmy was playing, they probably win game 4. But you know, I mean, he hasn't scored more than 22 points, but you know, minus the game on Sunday, I think it was all playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
He hadn't in the playoffs yet. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So it's like you expect more from him, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, Pops is still mad at him. He caused all this. He's terrible. He's still not having it. Unc is wondering why Duncan Robinson isn't playing.
Deep. So I think the problem is Duncan. Like I think I mentioned it earlier in the season. Duncan Robinson was shooting really, really bad. Like he was just going through a slump. He just wasn't playing very well. So when Max Strauss came out, he wasn't struggling. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think right now we're really deep. And we got Caleb Martin coming off the bench. Victor Oladipo is back fully healthy now, so he's getting a ton of minutes. Gabe Vincent's playing really well and backing up Kyle Lowry. So, I mean, Marquise Morris isn't even playing. He's really good on defense too. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a lot of guys who really aren't playing who will fall out of the rotation. And since Max Strauss is such a good three-point shooter too, he's just, you know, Duncan's just kind of fallen out of the rotation. He got a little bit of playing time tonight, which is like the first of the playoffs. He didn't play in the first round. He hasn't played in games 1 through 4 either. But, you know, I think it's just a matter of what's working for us right now and not wanting to break up that chemistry.
Yeah. And as the matchups change, it could change too.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
All right, let's switch over to the other series in the East. And as Unc says, Boston is making Milwaukee sweat. The other night, you know, Giannis had a little stare down on Horford. Apparently, that got Horford going, and really, I guess it did. I guess that's the motivation he needed. But he looked like 10 years ago, Al Horford somehow, or at least 7, 8 years ago, Al Horford. And kind of really was instrumental in helping Boston even out the series. So now it's 2-2, another 3-game series. What do you think happens next?
It's funny, you know, we talk about Boston Milwaukee's really been beating Boston up in all 4 games. These mental lapses that allows Boston to come back into them, except for the one blowout. I think Boston blew them out in one of the game 2 maybe. But Milwaukee's basically been beating them up, and they're still not fully healthy. You know, they're doing this without Middleton. So I think Milwaukee just has to play a complete game. They play a complete game. This series is probably over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't think they're sweating too bad. They keep playing the defense they've been playing on Boston's boy Jason Tatum. You know he's really been struggling throughout this entire series. But Giannis just gotta do what Giannis does, and I think Milwaukee gets out of this one.
Got you. I think so too. I definitely hope so because I can't stand the Celtics. I can't stand this,
with you, bro. And I love Giannis. He's become one of my favorite players like so quickly. But
no, for sure, he's dope.
Can't stand Boston.
Yeah. All right. So that's the reset kind of on where we're at with the 2 playoff series. But more than likely, we could be in the conference finals when we come together again on Tuesday, or at least the majority of the games will have been set because, you know, there's still, you know, a couple more days or whatever, enough days where we'll probably be through these series. So we'll see what happens, and we'll be right back with you, obviously, to kind of talk about the playoff bracket again next week. So want to round out a little bit more news in the NBA talk. Monty Williams. So Marcus would be happy to know he's officially been named the NBA Coach of the Year as well now. So that's official from the NBA, and it couldn't have come soon enough because if he blows this series with the Mavericks, like it's not going to feel as good. But I do want to say congratulations to him because, you know, the way the Suns played during the regular season, you know, and the way that they've kind of come together as a team is really legit. He's got all the right people in the right roles.
Definitely. I definitely agree, man. You know, Booker got hurt at the beginning of the season, didn't let up. Chris Paul missed 5 weeks, I think, with the thumb injury or whatever it was. And they still ended up with the, you know, best record in the league. And, you know, so hats off to him, man. He did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. In other coaching news, Mike Brown of the Warriors is going to be the head coach of the Kings. And it's pretty crazy because this news was announced. I think it was like earlier yesterday or earlier the day of the last Warriors game. And then he found out that, Steve Kerr was not going to be able to coach the game and ended up having to be the head coach for that game too. So kind of a crazy day for him. But how do you think that works out for the Kings? And do you think Mike Brown is ready to be a head coach again?
We'll see. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of nice when you have LeBron James, as your number one guy, especially when he's in his prime at that point in time. But the Kings don't really have a lot to look forward to. You know what I mean? Like they, it's still gonna take a little while for them to put it together, but I still think it's a great look for the league. I love seeing our African American coaches keep these head coaching jobs. But it's still rough. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when you come into a job like this, it's like you got 2 years, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You got 2 years. Like, we need to see what you can do in year one, and we need to see like extreme progress in year two. And if we ain't got it, we're looking for somebody else. So
yeah,
he hasn't coached a game for them yet, and he's already on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes. See how it goes.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel like it's another placeholder. I feel like it's just like, we'll see.
Yeah.
But the Kings, it's kind of tough, and I don't like to be like that, but it's kind of tough to really see them, like envision them kind of like moving forward, even with like the Grizzlies and with some of the other teams in the West, like you could see it where it's like, okay, like they could be coming forward. But with the Kings, the way it is right now, and the way that it's just like every couple of years they get rid of their best players, like they just don't know what to do. So
for sure. Man, you're right, dude. I mean, you think about like the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, and man, who else did you just say? You said Pelicans?
The Timberwolves, even like even the Trailblazers or something like.
Just, Memphis. Well, you said Memphis, yeah.
Memphis, yeah.
All three of those teams who are like bottom feeders for the last couple of years, they're all on the rise, man. Anthony Edwards has been phenomenal. Only in his second year in the league, and the Kings really ain't getting any better. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, so now that brings the coaching search down to only 2 teams, and that's the Charlotte Hornets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Unk says the Lakers need Mark Jackson to be hired as coach. I love you, Unk, but I couldn't disagree more. Like it'd be so hard for me if that ends up what's happening. Like I'll try to root for them and being positive about it, but I just don't see that as the right move. I hope Jeannie figures something out though. I don't know. And then Moms, thank you. You know what I'm saying? I did this specifically for you, Moms. I misspelled around the league, but I wanted to make sure that you were still watching and that your editorial skills didn't fall off at all. So thank you. We will have that corrected in the subsequent PowerPoints. All right. So the last bit of news, though, from around the league is that the Bucks and the Hawks are going to be playing in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, a preseason game next year. And then also the Warriors are going to be playing in Japan again. So I just thought that was pretty cool, at least report on that, just to kind of, I don't know what that scene would be like, but the NBA just wants more and more money. They want more and more markets. So they're just like, let's get it popping,
Yeah. That's cool though. Like it's cool too. Like, hopefully it's one of those things where like they get a certain amount of time, before and after the game. So I'm sure that, the players who have never been there would love to kind of like see it, walk around and explore a little bit before having to come back to the States. But You're right, man. Let's get out there. Let's get in front of, as many people, as many countries as we can. It's NBA is doing it, man. Like they've always been one of the better organizations in regards to just overall marketing, you know what I'm saying? So
right. No, I agree. And even from the beginning, they always are like, they're the only league where when they, whoever wins the champions, they're the world champions. And they've always been like really defined about being like, we are the platform for basketball, like regardless, like we're the top, I am just interested too. Like some of those players got YouTube channels or whatever, like, what I'm saying? They'll probably go see some cool stuff while they're out there. So
yeah.
One more note on NBA from the comments. Pop says Hornets and Philly are going to fight over D'Antoni. Why? I don't know why. And I can see that happening.
I know D'Antoni would love to get his hands on Melo Ball, but then he also, like he's also got ties with Harden and Morey. So we'll see how it goes. But you watch it. I think we are actually watching Harden kind of. I won't say hit a cliff, but he's sliding a little. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he ain't falling. He just kind of sliding on his knees a little bit. You know what I'm saying? On his legs. So he's been down that road before, but I don't know. Maybe it's different. He's got a center this time. I don't know.
Maybe. I just feel like D'Antoni's just another retread. Like I'm ready for like the next generation, you know. Even
Yeah.
like the Hornets, or not the Hornets, the Pelicans head coach, which I feel bad I'm blanking on his name right now, but like I'm ready for like those guys, you know what I'm saying? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Hunk real quick says players better behave. Hopefully they do. And we don't have any other, you know, situations like that. And then Anthony Weston says Lakers should kick the tires on Phil. As a consultant, maybe, but not like let's not bring him back as a coach. Like I don't know. That's just me, but let's go ahead and keep it popping. Let's go ahead and close out NBA talk and get into our last official topic. So what's next again?
Other sports?
Oh yeah, other sports. Okay, so not football.
Yeah, not basketball. We did that already.
Oh, okay, like hockey.
Yeah, like hockey. Feel me?
Okay, like baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Like soccer, right?
There we go.
Like soccer.
Like other sports. All right, other sports. A lot going on for other sports actually this weekend and coming up. So we actually got 2 slides for other sports. So get ready. And let's go ahead and get into it. This first one, we have the Stanley Cup playoffs on there, and I know it's really hard to see, but this bracket actually does have the series and what the series are at. All of them are tied 2-2, except for the Avalanche have advanced, and then also Pittsburgh Penguins are leading 3-1 over the Rangers. But it's been a very even Stanley Cup playoff so far. A lot of back and forth, a lot of home teams winning. So that's just exciting. So definitely keep an eye on that and go Avs. I really think this is the year.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. But who are you following again? Remind me, who are you following this year?
So like I don't know. I enjoy watching the Lightning play, but I'm going for your Avs this year, man. I thought they had it last year. You know what I mean? And I actually do agree with you. I think this is their year this year, and hopefully they can make it happen. They were so close last year. You know what I mean? And but yeah, man, I'm really just gonna go for them, see if they can get it done.
For sure, I'm excited. And Pops and I have been trying to catch some of the games that we can, and it was cool because Game 4 was last night, and they actually went down a goal, but that was the first time they were like behind the whole series, and they ended up coming back and winning it out. So that's what's up.
They killed them all series. Like, oh god, like
yeah,
oh, wow,
yeah. So that's exciting. I know we hit a couple of bet MGMs on them too, so that's what's up.
Yep.
Who else we have on this slide? The ladies of the WNBA. They're ready. They're back in action, and and they're ready to have their best season yet. So they had a little Commissioner's Cup where it was like some of the like 4 of the like top teams or whatever from last year that played in it. And I kind of like that they kind of do these little tournaments and stuff to kind of create different interests. It's almost like a soccer element, but it's a way for them to kind of prolong the season and create more meaningful games. So definitely just wanted to say shout out to WNBA, and I'm hoping maybe we can get out to another game.
Oh, we do. We should actually.
We had a great time. We went before, and I think it was actually Breonna Stewart's first game or second game that we saw her playing. One of the definitely top WNBA players. But we had sweet tickets. We've also, gone to other games. Been down there. So definitely exciting for sure. So, and lastly on here, the Champions League final in soccer is set. We have Liverpool versus Real Madrid, and it should be pretty exciting. But Real Madrid, they came back against Man City. They were down after the first leg, and they came back in dramatic fashion to set up this Champions League. So we'll see what's up with that. But I think that's not till May 25th or 26th or something like that. So we got a little while for that. Anthony Weston said he's a Mercury fan. And I kind of am too. That's one of the teams that I root for. That's one of the only home teams on for whatever reason I root for.
Right.
But the Mercury games get hype. They really do. They have a great fan base for sure. So let's see. Moving on though, in other sports, we mentioned there was a couple other stories. As Unc alluded to, Canelo Alvarez lost this past weekend. He got mopped up by Bivol, just a bigger, more physical fighter. I'm just pissed because this ruins the Triple G rematch. We talked about it. It was like Canelo was already looking forward, already had the rest of the year planned out, and now all that is kind of up in the air. So I was kind of shocked, but what did you think about the fight?
I agree, man. It's funny because I literally just got done talking about like how ahead Canelo's been of everybody, how like all his last couple of fights have been very one sided. You know what I'm saying? And man, he really got handled in this fight. Like he
Yeah.
really got beat up from like start to finish. So I was actually really surprised. I couldn't believe it. So I'm actually, I'm really curious to kind of see like what happens from here. You know what I mean? Are they gonna try to rematch it? Does he want the rematch? You know what I mean? But I'm with you, man. I would love it him at first Triple G fight. Triple G is my dude. I know he's probably on his way out soon, so let's get the trilogy going. But I don't know. It threw me for a loop. I didn't think he was going to lose this fight.
Yeah, I didn't either. He was stepping up in weight class, and Bivol was the former champion. But I just kind of figured, I figured Canelo would handle himself, and I was hoping he would because I wanted to see that last Triple G fight, meaningless as it was. But I agree. I think he definitely got handled. And Anthony Weston mentions he says that score was terrible. No way it was 115 to 113. And that's the thing. Even though he wasn't technically the champion here, they gave Canelo the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And yeah. So Unk says Canelo looked very unprepared. I agree. Anthony Weston says he already exercised his rematch clause, I believe. And so that's what I was trying to confirm today before the show, doing a little bit of notes. He said he was going to do his rematch clause, but I haven't seen it official yet. I don't know how quickly those things move or whatever, So we'll see how that progresses. In other sort of quote unquote fighting news, Mike Tyson, we talked about that he had this incident with a fan recently, and it came out today that there's not going to be any charges pressed or anything like that. He's not going to face any punishment for the incident. So I think that's good.
Yeah, I think so too. You know what I'm saying? You poke a bear, you get a bear, man. Like what I'm saying? So let's see.
Yeah. So the other things here, the F1 was in Miami this past weekend, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool scene, and they want to start to bring more races to the U.S., which I really hope for. Obviously, the F1 is really more based in Europe, and it's really more of an international thing for us. To see it here in America was cool, but one thing that sucked is during the race, the roads were actually very rough. Some of it was all around Hard Rock's Stadium, which is where the Dolphins play, but also, going out into the surrounding neighborhoods and stuff like that. So it's kind of unfortunate, and I hope that doesn't dissuade them kind of from moving forward, but still a really cool scene to see, As Unk says, F1 is very intense. My guy Hamilton, he just couldn't get it figured out this time, but Max Verstappen's won. And he's the one that won the championship last year, so he's kind of the new guy. So, so Anthony Weston says a commentator mistake Banchero for Pat Mahomes. No, I didn't see that actually. I didn't see that, but I did see earlier. Unk was mentioning that a bunch of celebrities took selfies during the festivities in Miami. So that's what's up though, and definitely it's just a big thing. F1 it just kind of brings out big money, big sponsors, you know what I'm saying? And another thing that brings out big money and big sponsors is the Kentucky Derby, which also happened this weekend. So another, obviously big race. And another big surprise, we had Rich Strike win the Kentucky Derby, who was actually an 80-1 odds before the race, and actually was like a late sub in, I think like just a day or a couple days before. So did you do any horse racing or what did you think about that?
No, I didn't get in on it, man. Like I feel like with the horse racing, it's just whoever's guess is better than the next person. You know what I'm saying? I know nothing about them. But like the 80-1 odds was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's huge. But yeah, didn't really get in on it. I wanted to, but I kind of like chickened out. So I was like, I'm just throwing money away at this point. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. I'm like, I don't know anything about horse racing, but I have done like, horse racing a little bit and like the greyhound racing, like when we could go in person, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't really know nothing about that. So we'll see. Anthony Weston, I'm like that. I follow the same strategy. Bet on Seabiscuit. Like, all right. The last thing I had on here was the Live Golf Invitational, which is the Breakaway Golf League. We've been kind of talking about a little bit through other sports of the last couple months, and their first match is set to happen in June of this year. I think it's like the first couple weeks of June, and recently, or actually just earlier today, the PGA denied everyone that basically set up for like an exemption to be able to leave the PGA for just like this one tournament and to go and participate in this. Now, this is what they usually do for like international tournaments like the British Open and things like that. The PGA usually just grants their release so that they can go and, you know, participate in these tournaments. This time they weren't having any part of it. And I think it's because they're scared that there's too much money over here in this new golf tournament, and they do not want their players actually being a part of it. So
no competition. Like, we don't want no type of competition. Point blank. Period.
Yeah, and I do think it's kind of, I don't know. I do think it's just kind of lame from the PGA standpoint because they've never really had serious competition for years. You know what I'm saying? For forever. And now that there's somebody trying to shake things up and trying to actually bring big money behind it, you know, they're kind of scared of that competition. They don't want to pay their players out like that. So
yeah,
we'll see. I'm just wondering if some of these like lower down players that are like, you know, on the fringe of say like the top 100 golfers in the world will just be like, well, I'm just going to go to this and I'll just rake up money in this one and you know, and not worry about being on the PGA Tour. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. But that's all we had for other sports. Let me see real quick. Oh, Mom says Churchill Downs was cool though. We did go to Churchill Downs when, you know, in part of our mini travels, and got a picture out in front of that. So it was cool to see, and I can only imagine what it's like on the race days, or, you know, especially Kentucky Derby weekend. So so that's what's up there. I think we got a couple of things for final say, but I just wanted to know, Strizzy, if there's anything else you would touch on, and if you would talk about your video too.
Yeah, for sure, man. Before I touch that though, I got, you know, Unk sent me something that you know, we both definitely wanted to you know, include in the final say. But Unk said that he's doing the 50-mile rucksack march to bring attention to the 22 soldiers or veterans committing suicide every month. If anybody wants to make a donation to it, they can do so at Stop Soldier Suicide. I'm assuming probably .com. I'm assuming. Unk, correct me if I'm wrong. But definitely wanted to bring awareness to that. I know my uncle is a Army veteran, so I know he's knocking out 50 miles is a lot. Unk, more power to you, sir. So yeah, I wanted to knock that out. You know, let everybody know about that. And then the YouTube video that I pulled off earlier today, man. I did the Pocky one chip challenge.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I think it gets hotter every year. I did the 2021 chip. I don't know if they have a 2022 chip yet, but it was I think the Carolina Reaper plus the Scorpion pepper combined. Bro, like when I ate that chip, right? Like before I could even get it swallowed, my mouth was like already burning. And then like the worst part about it is like when you swallow it, now like the heat from the chip is like in your throat. Like there's nothing you can do about like the throat heat.
Yeah.
And like I mean, 45 seconds in, I was like, yo, I'm burning. I was dying. And the worst part about the entire thing is like 2 hours later when it was finished, like I was done, my stomach just started hurting. I mean, hurting. I mean, I was restless. I couldn't stand still. I started laying on my stomach. Took a really cold shower. I was chilling in the bathtub. Like it just hurt. I'm like, I'll never do this again unless somebody's paying me big money to do so. It sucked. It would be fun experience. You know what I'm saying? Do it for the gram type stuff.
Yeah,
but man, it was crazy. I remember taking like my first drinks of the milk after it was all said and done. It was just like the sweet sigh of relief, bro. Like it was like, oh my God. But even then, it just wasn't working, bro. Like it was. Oh, it was
too
horrible.
much.
Yeah. 1 out of 10, I don't recommend. You know what I'm saying? Leave that alone, slackers. Leave that alone.
Yeah, for sure. We'll just take your word for it. We'll just watch the video. You know, we'll just check out the video and go from there. But yeah, you're facing that one. That definitely cracked me up. I tried the Flaming Hot Mountain Dew recently. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but that was nothing like your experience. That was no big deal in comparison. But I'm gonna throw that up on my YouTube too. So it's funny though that we both had like two kind of spicy spicy things going on. But
yeah,
I can't get down with what she was doing.
it was too much, bro.
Yeah,
I regretted it instantly. I was like, oh, I should have done this.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I definitely did want to thank Unc one more time too for letting us know about the cause that he's participating in. And yeah, we believe it was stopsoldiersuicide.com where you can donate. But if you guys have any questions about it, you can reach out to us. We'll gather a little bit more information about it for sure, so we can kind of spread that out and pay that forward. But too funny. He says, well, not funny. This isn't funny, but he says 50 miles is easy when you're not getting shot at or mortared. And I'm sure that makes it easier. But I'm curious to see how much is in that rucksack that you have to carry for the 50 miles. That just sounds crazy. But this was the funny part. I was seeing. He said he'd rather do 50 miles than eat that chip.
Bro,
So
I'm with you. I'd rather do it too than eat that chip again. That's
never again.
No way.
Yeah. And Unc says Flaming Hot Mountain Dew, yuck. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I was like, at first, actually, honestly, it was like kind of just tasted like regular Mountain Dew, but it's supposed to be Mountain Dew with lime and like hot sauce or something. I don't know, or lime and hotness. I can't remember exactly what the bottle said, but it kind of just tasted like Mountain Dew at first, but then over time you could feel like kind of tingle in your throat. It was kind of weird. So
yeah.
But dang, Unc carrying 40 pounds in the rucksack. So good luck with that. And Strizzy and I will talk right now too. We'll come together. We'll put something on for sure for you too. So, and any slackers, like I said, if you guys want to reach out or if you want information to participate, just let us know and we'll get that hooked up. So good stuff there. I think that's it though. I think we did it for this week. Also though, at SayLikeAChamp.com, we do have the link for my nephew Sebastian's book drive too that we're doing. Actually, speaking of donations, so if you guys want to participate in that, that's another thing you guys can reach out and we'll talk about that a little bit more as it gets close. But that's going to be starting very soon, starting at the beginning of June. So that's what it is. Strizzy, anything else you want to talk about? What are you looking forward to? Did the Heat finish it off?
Yeah, they beat them up pretty bad. I think they 25.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, worse than that. Ooh. Yeah, they smacked them.
I figured. I was like, okay, so now we officially have that. If that's 3-2, right?
Yeah, it's 3-2. So yeah, we got to finish them off at in Philly, man. Embiid looked rough. Like he looked really rough in this game. So I think his body is just really wearing down on him. So if they come in with that same type of energy, Miami needs to capitalize it. And no game 7. Let's get game 6 and be done with it.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. All right. Well, that's what it is. We're a little bit under an hour. Want to thank you guys all again for your participation and we love the comments. We love you guys dropping knowledge and your perspectives about all the different stories and sports that we touch on. And yeah, that's what's up. Also, I almost forgot my couch friend.
Yeah.
Shout out to my sister. She hooked it up. She brought this back because we know I was jealous, so she had to bring me back a little something, you know what I'm saying? And this is Lucky the Pizza Dog from Hawkeye. So if you guys have seen Hawkeye on Disney Plus, and also, I love like things that just are silly, but the pizza actually does come off. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what's up. Thank you, Kelly, again for bringing me back a present. It made me feel not so bad for missing out on Disneyland. So that's what's up. But I guess that's it. I think we did it. That was episode 141 of Say Like a Champ. We'll be back next Tuesday. Same time, same channel, right back at you. Until then, it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy.
We out.
Peace.
And you say them too. They open up my eyes.